Good evening, Taurus. This is David with Tarot and Astrology for All, and today I'm bringing your readings. Tonight I should say. Now, from what I'm seeing from what the dice rolled is that you guys are going to be stepping into Leo energy. Now, that is not a surprise because before your reading, I ran into Tiger's Eye. Now, Tiger's Eye is one of those stones that imparts, well, as you very well know, strength. It imparts courage. It imparts bravery, and it imparts the energy of doing the right thing regardless of whatever the consequences may be. Now, if you think about this, these very well are the things that create the foundations for character. And so, if you guys want to know a little bit more about character, check out the YouTube video with Jocko Willink, Echo Charles, and Captain Charlie Plum. And they talk about character and building it. So, the one thing that came to mind was the Eye of the Tiger, right? If you guys have not heard that song yet, it's one of the ones that played on the Rocky soundtrack for the Rocky video. I believe it was Rocky 1. And so if you guys go ahead and listen to that song, I very much feel that you guys will gain the inspiration that you need. Now, you guys were coming from a Capricornian type energy. And with Capricorn, it's all about building. But I feel like some of you Taurans had run into maybe some obstacles. And this is why you guys need the bravery and courage energy, or maybe even just a confirmation of what maybe you might have been feeling and what you need to move forward into the future. Now, coming around the die, I see Aries. So assertiveness is something that you're going to need in the future, and certainly something that you are going to get into in the future. And this has been ordained by the universe and however things are going to be moving forward for you. So with that being said, let's draw an animal spirit card and see where it begins. All right, so yeah, so I very much feel that you guys have run into some obstacles. I feel like maybe you guys have been annoyed by them. Definitely when bees get annoyed, they begin to sting. So please be careful, pun intended, that you don't say words that you don't mean to other people. That's one of the messages that I get. And also, really think about what it is that you want to say before you say it, because this is all a part of gaining courage and bravery. Sometimes we might say things that hurt other people, and that's something that you don't want to do. This is energy that's radiating from within, and this is energy that can be pretty dangerous if you don't rein it in, just like a lion. Oh, okay, so the spider just came out, and the vulture. So the vulture at the bottom of the deck shows me that there's something that you need to get rid of. There's something that you need to remove from your life. And you can't really do it if you look at the details. However, you can't really do that if you're just looking at the overall picture. There's various different things that you need to look at in your details. So look at your network, right? See all of those lines of support that you have that hold your web together. And also take a look at who you are, because in the center of everything is you. So make sure you take a look at everything about you, and make sure that you are in the right place before you move on to others. So let's see what we draw from the fairy oracles and see what else the universe has to say. Now this deals with emotions, so this right here would be perfect. Let's see. All right, so applying helpful fixes. The bodacious bodak is one of those creatures that, well, in this sense, it applies fixes, but sometimes they might not be helpful. But if you really pay attention to what it is about you that might be causing the problems around other people, then you'll actually be able to apply those helpful fixes, because you, Taurus, are one of those zodiac signs that is very well adept at giving advice. So whenever you give advice to others, really pay attention to that advice and see if maybe that advice can help you in your life too. because as we all know, everybody is a reflection of us in some type of way. All right, look at that. That's not surprising. Honesty. Now, it's necessary to first be honest with ourselves, right? And that's where I'm being drawn to, is being drawn to being honest with ourselves. And sometimes that takes courage, right? So that's where the helpful fixes will come in, which is a very useful thing. And really take a look at your emotions and stuff like that, because that might be at the center of everything. As we all know, Taurans can be pretty stubborn. And I feel like if you guys really pay attention to something within you, you'll actually be able to see what it is that is around you and what's being caused, and what it is that you might be doing that might be causing it. Yeah, because I feel like there's very much instability in your circle around you, and whenever your lines of support are in danger, that makes your own web very flimsy, and it doesn't allow you to be stable in that regard. Now, very much so, this could be caused by people around you as well. For some of you, I feel like there's other people that tell you things, and then maybe you might take it to heart, or maybe you start to believe those things that other people tell you. And with the Soul Shrinker at the bottom, this is one of those cards that I feel is affecting your ability to reach completion. So let's move on over to the Rider Tarot Waite to find out and clarify on this energy and see what it is, or what helpful fixes can be implemented that allow you to move forward unhindered. Oh, uh-oh. All right, so there's a little bit of unhappiness, and that's what's driving your necessary need to, how would I say it? To apply these helpful fixes that you've been trying to apply into your life. At the root of it all is your own happiness, right? And so, oh, look at that. But some of the things that are some of the things that are not allowing you to be honest with yourself is maybe thinking about what the consequences could be. I very much feel that this energy could be drawn from past hurts, past programming, maybe programming that's outdated now and needs to be removed. And this is energy that I feel is coming from deep within. I feel like this is a hurdle that maybe you haven't been able to jump in the past, but this is something that needs to be done in order for your personal happiness, right? We have the number 9 right there. And with the 9s, I mean, when it comes to personal happiness, we first have to be happy with ourselves. And happiness is a state of being. It's not really something that we can get from other people. However, you can spread it to other people from yourself. Let's see what we get for the last card. All right, so some of you Taurans might be unhappy at the state of events, the unending of a cycle, the cycle that just keeps going over and over and maybe even repeats itself. But I very much feel that the cycle and your instability regarding this cycle is all due to these 2 cards right here. These 2 cards. There's for whatever reason you have some type of issues surrounding being honest with yourself. And I very much feel that as you start to change this dynamic here, this dynamic starts to disappear. Now, personally, from my own experience, I found that as I'm honest with myself, that allows me to be more honest with other people. I become more transparent. And I believe that that is part of the journey for you, at least within these next 7 days, but moving on into the future, Taurus. Because what's headed towards you and what's at the bottom of everything is stability. I mean, for some of you guys, it might be financial stability. For others that already have financial stability, I feel it's like the energy is calling you to basically fix whatever is going on internally, and to build courage and stuff like that, to be able to provide and to nurture for other people. The Queen of Pentacles herself is not just a queen, but she takes care of all of the things that deal with commerce, that deal with distribution and all of that stuff. And I feel like maybe for some of you guys that might feel like a trap, but once you actually provide for other people, which is actually what the Tauran theme is to provide for others, then you actually reach that completion that you're looking for. The world card will flip itself up, right side up. You'll come to the end of that cycle, and then from here, happiness ensues. So let's go ahead and roll the die and see what kind of energy you're going to be moving into the future with. Pisces energy. All right, so with the Piscean energy, you're going to be the Piscean energy here is very spiritual, but it's spiritual energy that connects to the universe. And this is digging down deep, right? We talked about digging deep. So over the next 7 days, it will be necessary to dig deep within yourself. And the main component of this is to communicate with yourself. Once you communicate with yourself, you have the ability to communicate with others, which is where the Aquarian energy steps in. And of course, right now you have Saturn in Aquarius, but what ends up happening is that sometimes it can be restricting. So you might feel like you're not able to talk to very many people, but if you actually look online or try to check your online sources, there's very many different people that you can send your message to. And of course, just be patient and wait for their response. And as you do that, you'll step into your full power, which is the Tauran energy that's on the other side of this die. All right, so I know for some of you Taurans, it might feel like the road is foggy. It might feel like there's a lot of different things that are restricting you, maybe even like restricting your ability to do things. However, I very much feel that whenever you run into this type of energy, it's going to make you want to go back to your old programming, but that's not the way to go. And actually, if I look at these die right here, it's trying to break you from your past programming. So we talked about breaking you from your past programming, breaking the programming that maybe others might impart on you, as well as these things that need to be let go, right? So let's go ahead and roll this last die. All right, this is something that's going to be done on an everyday basis, as I mentioned. And this is also something that's going to result in your personal happiness. It's also going to result in completion. And it's also going to result in all of those changes that you've been looking for. All of those, and as far as those changes, don't view it as positive or negative, Taurus. Just go ahead and view those changes and live through those changes and just allow those changes to become something much more than what you expect. So thank you, Taurus, for sitting with me in this reading. And I hope that this information is useful. I hope that this information helps you to move forward. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great night. Please, if you like this, share it, subscribe it, and like it, all of that stuff. And I will see you for your next video. Have a good night, Taurus.